Welcome to one of the many circle sessions hosted by Wonder Girls. Wonder Girls is a nationwide classrooms movement. We bring relatable female role models into classroom settings through our circle sessions. As you will see, the crux of these sessions is its dialogic nature. We're currently working with classrooms across 7 Indian cities and continuing to grow. Our aim is for every adolescent in India to have access to relatable female role models. I welcome you once again and hope you enjoy learning from our role models' life journey and career path.
So I hope everyone have a clarity on the norms of the session, right? Okay. So we have Urvi Didi here. So Urvi Didi is a psychiatrist. She completed her master's in clinical psychology from a college from Bombay. So today Urvi Didi is here to explain about how she choose this career and how does this career work and all. So I'll give mic to Uri Didi. She'll explain herself, explain about her work and what is her background and all. Later we can go for the questions.
Hi everyone, I'm Urvi. Small correction, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm a
Yeah,
psychologist.
yeah, okay.
So basically, I started with doing my BA in psychology, and after that, I did my master's in psychology, and now I'm currently working under a psychologist, and I'm also uh, running my own page called All Years. So that's about it for now. You want me to elaborate a little more about how I started, how I got into psychology?
Uh, that would be interesting, Uri.
Okay. So, some years ago, my brother had a really uh, terrible car accident. He got into a car accident, and after that, he went into depression, because of which I could see firsthand experience of how it was like to like deal with someone who has depression, and like how the family members need to react around the person, and how he could get better with the help that he's getting from the medical professionals and all of that. So we did the best that we could. We got him like a psychologist to help him, and he was also given medication. After which I sort of decided that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to help people and somehow um, make their lives better. So that's how I decided to do psychology. And in the 11th grade, I picked psychology. And the teacher that I had, she was brilliant. She taught every concept so well. I still remember her words speaking in my mind whenever I uh, have to think of any concept, basically. So that's how I decided to do psychology.
My,
That's
you're to mute.
Yeah. Now Mansi Didi will talk a little bit about Wonder Girls. Then we can ask our questions further.
Hi everyone. I'm from Wonder Girls, and Wonder Girls is a nationwide classrooms movement. We bring relatable female role models like Urvi Didi into classroom settings for students like y'all. We're currently operating in 7 cities across India, and we're only growing every day. So, thank you for coming here. And if y'all want to know anything about Wonder Girls, y'all can check our Instagram account. It's called Wonder Girls Go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mansi. So we'll go for the questions that were asked by the students. So can Sumya come out of mute and ask her first question? Sumaya? Okay.
So,
Sumya's
am I audible?
yes, Sumya.
So I'm Sumaya. Hi, Didi. So my first question is, during your psychologist, when you're learning medical science and all. So, what is something that make you? Uh, sorry, I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Um, I think I'll just ask one of the questions she posted. what does a psychologist do?
So basically, a psychologist, broadly speaking, will give you an assessment on um, how you're feeling, what you're going through, and they'll give the client therapy, and and if you're working at an organizational level, then they'll help you how to go about organizational change. There are some psychologists who also work under research and they're only doing research. Then there are some who work in schools where they're there to like help people achieve their goals and get their psychological health in place, well-being in place, social well-being in place.
Can Shaista come out of her mute and ask a question?
So hello Didi, I want to ask that how do you treat your patients, like they are not really well, so how do you manage to treat them and all?
Hi. Usually what I'm doing right now is therapy. So, and that's also the most common way to treat patients, clients, as we call them. Mainly people use talk therapy where you ask questions back and forth based on the responses you get. And then if they have a severe mental illness, there if they have a severe mental illness, they've also probably done some tests. So based on those tests, then you see if they need to visit a psychiatrist. If they do, then you refer them to a psychiatrist, and then you can hand in hand give them medication and therapy together. I hope that answers your question.
Sumya, Shaista, is your question cleared?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sumya, thanks for raising hand. You can come out of mute.
Okay, so sorry, I just went. So my question is, Didi, how was your journey as a psychologist?
So it's been a really bumpy journey because I started by doing psychology in the 11th grade, which like I told you, that was a really good experience in learning psychology. And after that, it was only theoretical work. So basically, book में जो लिखा था हमको वो पढ़ना था और वो mind में we had to set it and then literally just write exams and clear the subject. Whereas after I entered into masters, that's when I got real first-hand experience of being a psychologist. I worked under psychologists. We had to do an internship at Sion Hospital where we got so many different kinds of cases every day. So it was a really good experience to have because just by studying books, you're not going to get that experience. And I'll tell you this one experience that I had under one psychologist, which I personally didn't like. So you're going to meet a lot of people in this field in your walks of life who are really money minded as such. So I was interning under one psychologist who basically just wanted to keep on giving patients therapy and just wanted to keep on giving them medicine so that they'd come back to him even after they were okay. So, which according to me was really unethical. And after I confronted the therapist as to why you're doing so, the answer I got was rozi roti ke liye ye sab karna padta hai. But that's not something that I wanted to do. So I left that internship and then started working elsewhere. But I think you meet all sorts of people when you're working in this field, and that's how you learn from your experiences, and it makes you a better person that way.
Okay. Huda, can you come out of mute and ask your question?
Yes, sir, sure. I'm really glad to hear such great responses from you, Didi. So my question is that, like, what has been one source of inspiration for you, like, while you're working towards your journey to achieve, to achieve your goal of becoming a psychologist?
So I think like I said, I interned at Sion Hospital, and the first case that I got on my own was of a child who had learning disability, and they had to come to the hospital basically to give to get their certificate to be able to get like a helper for their exams. So to do that, we had to conduct some tests, but she didn't have the capability or capacity to finish all those tests. So we had to also give her therapy side by side. And after say 2 or 3 sessions, she was really happy, and I could see the change in her. After which we uh, conducted the tests again, and she did really well on those tests. And I think 2 or 3 weeks later, she came back to the hospital just to meet me and just to say that uh, this has been my experience in school and it's been so great. And people also used to bully her. So she was like, because I've overcome this, people have stopped doing this. So I think the happiness and the effort that she took to come back to the hospital just to meet me and give me the feedback was something that inspires me till date. And that's what I want to keep doing further.
Thank you so much, Didi. That answers my question really beautifully. And one more question I have is that, like, what is one thing you feel best about being a psychologist? Like, one experience, or like one thing you just feel that, you did a very right thing, like for being by being a psychologist.
I think the simplest answer to this is uh, I am able to help someone improve their quality of life in even the smallest way. So that makes me really happy, and I hope I can continue doing this for the rest of my life.
Uh, Sania Sumaya, you can come out of mute and ask your question.
Yes. Hi, Didi. So, Didi, why
Hello.
did you want to become a psychologist? What is important in this?
I'm so sorry, your voice was cracking. I couldn't hear your question.
Why did you want to become a psychologist, and what is importance in this?
I think I mentioned this earlier about my about having first-hand experience of a family member who faced a mental illness, and then coming out of it was something that inspired me and what pushed me and wanted me to take this as a career. And the second question was, why is it important? Because I think we give a lot of importance to physical health and physical fitness and how we look, but something that we need to give equal importance is to how we feel and how our mind feels, and um, being in control of our emotions and how to express ourselves and how to communicate very openly and very freely. So I think that helps us keep our body and our system and all of that in place and in touch with everything that um, needs to be done.
Mm,
Thank you,
Rab,
Didi.
Thank you.
okay. Rabia, you can come out of mute and ask your question. Okay.
Yes, sir. So my first question is that did you face any difficulty in this job?
Uh, Other than the incident that I mentioned about the other therapists wanting to take money from their clients even after they were okay, I don't think I faced any difficulties as of now, because I've had really wonderful experiences with all my clients, and I think it's a great journey to be a part of.
Uh, Rabia, I think your answer was clear. Uh, can Nazia come out of mute and ask a question?
Yes, sir. So, thank you, Didi, for first of all coming to us and like answering our questions and taking this session. So, like as a psychologist, you treat people with mental illness using psychology now. So, like, how do you recognize the root cause of that person's mental problem?
How do you recognize?
The root cause of the like the problem of that person.
Okay, so basically, I if someone has a heart illness or someone has lung issues, we can go and get an X-ray done. But for mental illness and for all of panic attacks and anxiety and all of that, we can't go out and get an X-ray done to tell us if we have all of this. But luckily now, because we've come so far in the medical research and medical field, there's this thing called neuroimaging, which once there's this thing called neuroimaging where uh, they take pictures of your brain and of what part is working at what percent, what chemicals are working how, and what hormones are there in high levels and low levels. Based on all of that, we can tell that there are so and so deficiencies in this person, and this is caused because of this. And the second thing that we can do is conducting assessment tests on the person. So there are multiple assessment tests that are there, like Rorschach or say Kamat. Know if you've heard of them or not, but some are intelligence tests, some are for seeing if the person has depression or not. So if we combine both, we can tell by that and then go ahead with what needs to be done for the person to get to the best quality of their life.
Okay. Nazia, you have one more question, right? You can ask.
Yes, sir. So, Didi, my second question was about like you might have seen like numerous people with mental illness now. So, what is the most common one of them?
I think the most common of them all is depression and anxiety disorders. Anxiety will also include general anxiety, it will also include panic disorder, it will also include, say, OCD, that is obsessive compulsive disorders. I think these three, four disorders are the ones which I see a lot more than something else. But that's also because I'm not working at a hospital. If someone has a really severe disorder or mental illness, if they need to get medical help along with therapy, they go to a psychiatrist who's working at a hospital. And over there, I think the highest number of patients that they get is for dementia and schizophrenia.
Okay. Sanya Tabasum, you have raised hand. Can you come out of mute and ask your question? Okay. Okay, fine. So there is one more question. What stream and what subjects should I choose to become a psychologist?
Um, so I think there are two ways to go about it. 11th and 12th, you can pick any stream. It could be uh, arts, it could be commerce, it could be science. Commerce not recommended, but medical, that's science and arts you can take. And both of them, after which in the 13th, that is the first year of college, you will get an option to pick psychology and psychiatry as such. So there are people who've also done a BSc and who are psychologists, and there are people who've also done BA and who are psychologists. So uh, these are the two options, after which you can also, for better understanding and knowledge, go for a master's in the same field, that is MA in psychology. And if you want to be a clinical psychologist, you also need to do MPhil, which as of now is only available, like people in India only do an MPhil to do clinical psychology, because we need to get a registered number, the RCI number, which allows us to practice and open our own clinic. And if you don't want to do an MPhil, there's a rule that you need to work under a psychologist for 5 years at a hospital. So that's about it.
Thank you so much, Uvi. Can Amina come out of mute and ask her question? Amina?
Hello.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Mahesh sir.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
I want to ask one question. Madam Urvi, madam, good afternoon. What is autism? Is it treatable disease or it is curable disease? Is in psychology, is there any treatment for autism? Can you explain it, madam?
Hello. So autism is basically a sort of disorder that can be detected from childhood itself. It's usually people are born with it, and with proper care, it can be brought under control, but it can't be treatable. Like it can't go away at all. You can bring it under control. You can make life easier for the person who has autism. You can also set up your house in a way that is easy for the person with autism to live with. So usually if they have difficulty in, say, reading the time on a round clock, we can set up like a digital clock which directly has numbers on it. So small things like that to make their life easier. And what autism is basically, we call it people under the spectrum. So that means that people who can function really well when they are given the opportunity to, and on the other hand, if you just let them be, then it'll cause a lot of difficulties in their life, which will cause a lot of difficulties in the people surrounding their life. And basically these people, I will give you an example. There's a show called The Good Doctor. The person on the show has autism, and he's a surgeon in the show, a heart surgeon. So if they're given the proper treatment and if they're given the proper care, then they can do wonders.
Thank you, ma'am.
Amina has a question for you. She is asking, why does people go into depression? Am I audible?
Yes, but I couldn't hear the question. I'm so sorry.
Okay. So Amina asked a question. Why does people go into depression?
Why do people go under depression?
Yeah.
I think a lot of factors. Sometimes it's also genetic. Sometimes it's also the surrounding that you're in. If you've had a really difficult year, for example, if you've lost your job, if you've lost a partner, if you've lost, say, a lot of things in life where you're not able to cope with all of these things, then it if you're constantly sad, if you're constantly like can't concentrate on one thing, don't feel like doing anything, then we can say that this person has depression. How do people get depression is a really difficult question to answer, because it's a mixture of all of these things together. So basically, people who can't cope up with day-to-day activities, like they start having mental illnesses if they're not dealt with properly.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question.
Amina, I hope you got the answer. Yes, Nazia, you can come out of mute.
Yes, Didi. So my one question that I had was like, for like mental in how do you know like the person that like had some mental illness is like recovered or like well?
So basically, in therapy, you keep a note of all the things when the person comes to you, what their reports say, how they've been responding to you, their actions, their words, if they're able to cope up with the surrounding, if they're answering all your questions properly, if they've done the homework you've given them. You'll slowly start seeing a change in them, say from the second or third session that they have with you. And if it's a good change, then you can clearly say that, yeah, what you're doing is helping the person. And if it's not helping them at all, then maybe you need to see what you're doing wrong, and see if they need better help, they need different kind of help, if they need to visit a psychiatrist to get medication or not, if they need to um, get other sorts of help that way.
Okay. Muskan, now you can come out of mute and ask your question.
So first of all, thank you, Didi, for coming here and clarifying all our doubts. It is a all your experiences and all are inspiring a lot. So my question is, you told about your all years project, na Didi. So what are you doing in that? I wanted to know some things about it.
Okay, so all yours that I've started is basically, as of now, it's an Instagram page where I post about day-to-day things that we go through and the connection with mental health that we can make out of it. So uh, that's the research part of it. So I do my research and then I concise the information that I get and I post it over there. And the second part that all yours is for is that it's an online platform where I give students and adults pocket friendly therapy. So basically nowadays, therapy, people have started charging a lot for therapy. And some people who work on, like, say a pocket money of, say, 1,000 rupees per month or 2,000 rupees per month, and who can't afford to get the best sort of help, I want to be there and want to help them so that they can get the help that they need, and they can also uh, get better and get to the best quality of life that they should be living.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you.
Uh, I have a question actually. So what has been your motivation to start this project, and how has your journey been over the period?
So I actually started this in the middle of lockdown, where I was having conversations with my parents every day, with my friends every day, and they're like, "We can't deal with this. Just sitting in one room, sitting locked up in the house, not being able to go out, not being able to mingle with people." Because this lockdown really affected all of our social lives, where we could actually be able to go out, we could actually uh, like talk to more people, even if it was just getting down, sitting in an auto and telling the auto wala, bhaiya meko idhar jana hai. Even that basic conversation for some part would increase to something, and the auto wala would probably say, "Oh, look at the sun, look at the weather," and minimum conversation that we would have with people, that was completely gone. And everyone kept complaining about how it was difficult to cope and sit at home and work, go to school, attend college and go to work. And also because my work completely stopped during lockdown. So I was interning under a psychologist who also, because of COVID, got very paranoid and stopped working. And he was sitting at home. But I didn't want to do that. So I thought I should maybe uh, take look at this as an opportunity and see where I can go ahead with this. And also because that I know don't charge anything below 1,500 rupees. And I wanted to really do my bit and be able to help them so that help students and adults so that they can get help at a minimum cost.
Uh, there is one more question. What are some signs of mental illness? How do you know that whether person has mental illness? This question is from Nazia.
Okay, so I think there are multiple signs that you can see from a person who's mentally ill. One of them being feeling sad and feeling down all the time, not being able to uh, cope up with what's going on in your day-to-day life, not being able to concentrate on things that you have to do, excessively worrying all the time, ye na ho jaye, wo na ho jaye, ye kya bolega, wo kya bolega. If I want to open up to someone and say something that I am feeling, not being able to do that, constantly living in fear and guilt. And sometimes you'll also notice that you've had friends who are your friends, but then suddenly they just disappear out of, like, disappear, and they don't uh, talk to you, mingle with you. And that's when you can see that something's really affecting them. Maybe ask them that, hey, haven't seen you in a while, hope you're doing well, what's been going on. I'm here to talk to you if you want to say anything. And like, completely low, those people being completely low in energy and not being able to sleep, or the opposite, sleeping all the time, not being able to do anything. I think these are the few basic small symptoms that you can notice when a person is going through something. And when you're offering help to someone, and if um they're really opening up to you and you think you can't deal with it, then I think you should also be open to the person and say that, hey, I really understand what you're feeling, but this is a little too extreme even for me, but I want to make sure you're okay, so I want to be there to say help you in this journey. So maybe ask them if they want you to come with them to a therapist, if they want you to sit outside in the, or wait with them, or just talk to them, or that way. And if you can't take it, you should be open to them, because then you don't want to lose your sanity in the process of trying to help someone else.
Thank you, Hui, for saying that. So there is one common question I am seeing in chat and also from the students is, uh, what should we do if someone is angry? What should we do to decrease the anger? And why do people get angry all of a sudden? This is the question that I'm seeing from the kids.
What to do when someone is angry? I
Yeah.
think one thing is not to tell them to calm down, because that is only going to make them even more angry. And secondly, just listening to what they have to say. If they are talking in a loud tone, if you also start talking in a loud tone, then they will think that you're not interested in listening to what they have to say. They'll think you're not considering what they uh, are feeling or saying. So just listen to what they have to say and respond in a calm voice. And don't tell them to calm down, because they are not going to calm down. Once they've put their point forward, you can tell them that, hey, you've said this, I understand why you're feeling so and so, and what makes you do this, but this is also a possible scenario to the situation that you're looking at. So that's how, if you calmly put your point forward, maybe they'll think twice and they'll respond saying, okay, yes, I could have done that, or I could have said this in place of that. I hope I hope I could answer your question and you understood what I was trying to say.
Yes, yes. But there was one more question. Why do they get angry all of a sudden? I mean, so till now they are happy with they were talking, and suddenly they get this situation where they start shouting. So that was also a part of the question. Why do they get angry suddenly?
I think you mean, why is there a sudden change of emotion?
Yeah.
I think because sometimes, like I said, the hormones in our body and in our mind are working at different levels. And if the person needs to get help and something has triggered the specific hormone to work in a certain way, then the person is not going to be able to control their emotions as much as they want to. And in such situations, the best thing that we can do is to help them by get them medication and therapy. And so basically, all of this, we can start seeing it short periods of time, but if it's not taken care of, then it can give long-term results as well. So अगर starting में उनको थोड़ा बहुत गुस्सा आता था और हमने उसको अच्छे से treat नहीं किया, और future में that will, the small will build up together and become a big blast.
Okay. Nazia has a question for you. Nazia, can you come out of mute?
Yes, it is. So like my question was about like what can we do like daily to like make sure that our emotional and mental health is like all right.
I think something that I started doing in my third year was meditation, and which I think it really helped me. So just before bed, 5 minutes take for yourself. In the beginning, it's going to be really hard to like keep your mind at peace and not think about anything at all. But start by 1 minute, go to 2 minutes, go to 3 minutes, just 5 minutes of being with yourself, not thinking about anything, leaving all your emotions aside, all the things that you're thinking aside, all your worries will help you deal with each situation one by one clearly. Second, I think affirmations. Uh, do you know what affirmations are?
No, Didi.
Okay, so affirmations are basically positive statements that you can say out loud in front of the mirror. Basically, manifestation, that is telling the universe that I want this. So putting it out there, and the universe will in a way help you get that. वो ऐसा नहीं होएगा कि आपको platter पे मिल जाएगा, but there'll be small opportunities that will come, that you will see, that you will know that this is something that this opportunity is something that I have to grab. So an affirmation would, I'll give you an example. An affirmation could be looking into the mirror and saying, I am Urvi, I am very good at my studies. I want to be able to achieve so and so in so and so period of time. And I want, if you want something, then you put that in the sentence and say, I want to achieve so and so in so and so period of time. So just saying it out loud will make you want to work hard and that uh, get that in your life.
Meher, you raised hand. You can come out of mute.
Hi Didi, my question is that what make a person to get in depression and how can we overcome from it?
What makes a person get into depression, I think I already answered. And how to overcome it, you, supposing there's a person in your family who is under depression, maybe go to them and talk to them and ask them if they want to share something with you ever, that you're there to listen to them. If you want to if it's severe depression, then take them to a therapist, psychiatrist, to get help, to get medication, so that they can be under control of their emotions. And then further on, you can be there for the person, ask them and mingle with them, get involved in their daily activities, uh, in a way that you don't forget your daily activities. So be there for the person, but also try to, in a way, help them by keeping your sanity in place. That is the most important, because if you are only not okay, you're not going to be able to help anyone else.
Meher, I hope your questions are cleared.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Didi, for answering.
Thank
It is
you.
really helpful for me.
Thank
Ga-
you.
Muskan, you have one more question, right? Can you come out of mute and ask Didi about that question?
Yes, sir. I have one more question. Didi, what are some of the challenges that you faced in your life till now?
What are some of the challenges?
That you faced in your life till now?
Some of the challenges that I faced in my life till now, I think one would be having, sorry, one would be having a family member uh, battling a mental illness and being able to be there for the person. Two would be, uh, I think I'm still facing this, trying to make a place for myself in this community and the workspace that I am in. That is because so many people are doing psychology and mental health, and there are so many opportunities that we're all getting. But on the other hand, there are people who still look at mental health as a taboo, and who don't want to visit therapists, who don't want to visit psychiatrists, who think that okay, this is something that God has given us to live with this, and we have to live with it. But no, God has given you this life so that you are able to live your life to the fullest, and you get help so that you can live your life to the fullest and you can live a happy life. So I think that's something that I still want to be able to do and fulfill. And as of now, just this.
Okay. There is one more question actually. So, what kind of social background you come from, and how was your family when you say that I'm going to do psychology? Where they support you? How did you convince them?
I think I come from a upper middle class family, and they were all very supportive because they saw the help that my brother was getting, and they saw that this is really needed for people, because sometimes there are so many incidents that take place that are actually considered mental disorders and mental illnesses, but we don't label it as mental illness or mental disorder. We just think that it is something that is happening because God has made it happen, because this is our karma. Yes, it could be all of that also, but also that uh, mental illness and mental disorder can always be brought under control, and you can always live your life to the fullest and the best quality of life that you can live. And they were always very supportive of this, because uh, there are not many people who want to get into this field and who want to deal with people who have depression, schizophrenia, because it takes a toll on your mental health as well. So uh, I think my mom, in fact, was the one who pushed me to do this, because I didn't think I was strong enough to deal with this. So I think that's one thing that I have gotten to learn about myself in this process of being a therapist.
Hello.
Hello.
Madam, I have one question.
Yes.
How can you define the good sleep? And is it helpful to maintain the mental balance? And what is the good time to sleep? Because most of our boys are sleeping, they are waking on nearly 11 o'clock, and they are not sleeping. We are getting uh, complaints from the parents Parents think is that कि
Okay.
हमारा बच्चा बहुत सो रहा है, बहुत सो रहा है. So just define the sleep. Is it helpful to
Okay,
maintain
so
balance? Thank you.
okay, so when you fall asleep from 9 p.m. to 12 p.m., every hour of sleep that you get is considered 2 hours of sleep. So this is what I used to do when I was in TY, when we had 12 experiments to study for every exam and study all of those experiments. I would sleep at 9 o'clock and sleep till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. So I would get, say, 9 to 10 is 1 hour, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 3 hours, but you double the sleep. So that is 6 hours, and to 1 I used to sleep, so that's 7 hours. And every human needs 7 to 8 hours of sleep to get every human needs to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep to work at an optimal level of their functioning. So this is what I used to do when I was in college. And I think you should all sleep at a good time and wake up at a good time and not trouble your mothers. Because when you're waking up at 11, you're already wasting half of your day. By the time you wake up, it's already 1 o'clock. You don't have the energy to do anything that's fruitful, anything that's going to help you. You will only be able to, say, go out and hang out with your friends, and that you can do at any point of time. So I think to be able to have a good sleep cycle is very important for your functioning, because you have one life, you have to live that one life to the fullest, and you have to do so many things in your life that being able to be charged up when you wake up is the most important thing. So sleep by 12 o'clock, 12:30, wake up at 7, 8, 7 hours of sleep is optimal, and it is needed for every individual to function well. So yeah.
Uri, I have one more question. It's like more for the entire set of the kids over here. So most of the kids are about to give their exams soon, and in this pandemic, the struggle is not just to study, but also using online gadgets and making sure that they are also doing few works in the home and all. So I feel that few of
I'm
the
so
kids
sorry,
are
your voice is getting disconnected. I'm so
okay.
sorry
Okay.
to interrupt you. Your voice is getting disconnected.
Okay. So
Online
basically,
gadgets.
basically kids are going through a lot of stress in this online classes and all. So is there some way for kids to make sure that they are relaxing for themselves?
I think what I have noticed, at least in uh, schools over here, is that they've reduced the time of the schooling hours that are there. So if school used to function from 7 a.m. to, say, 2 p.m., now the school is functioning at 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. only, which gives them a lot of time later in the evening to from afternoon onwards to, say, get another nap in place, to get some free time for themselves, to eat properly, and to also study and do their homework that's there. I think in this pandemic, the most important thing is to try to keep yourself sane, because marks and all, education and all, वो तो जारी ही रहेगा all your life. But when you're not mentally okay, when things are bothering you, when there are 10 things running in your mind, अगर आप 12 घंटे भी पढ़ाई करोगे ना, तो आपके दिमाग में वो चीज बैठने वाली नहीं है. तो give yourself an hour ka break after school. Do what you want to eat, sleep, watch TV. Lekin when you're sitting to study, sit to study. Take breaks for 10, 15 minutes. Keep a bottle of water with you. जब आप पढ़ाई करने बैठ रहे हो, आपका फोन ऑफ कर दो, साइड में रख दो. Don't keep getting up to take breaks, to go to the washroom, to drink water, to get a snack. Keep one snack, one bottle of water next to you. And I think that's about it. Give yourself time every day for an hour to do what you like, and give yourself the equal time to study and to be able to get your goals in place. Because at the end of the day, both are important. And पढ़ाई करनी ही है, अच्छे कॉलेज में जाना है, अच्छा डिग्री चाहिए, तो we have to balance everything.
Okay, guys. If you have any more questions, can you come out of mute? Yes, Sanya Sumi, you can come out of mute better.
Yes, sir. So, online classes start now.
Sanya,
Now
your
it's
voice is
online class.
breaking. Can you put the question in the chat box? Sabha, you can go better.
Yeah, Didi. So I see mostly who are under depression, no, they take medicines. Does it really cure the depression? Means does it really control their depressions or take out of their depression?
I correct me if I'm wrong, but is your question a lot of times people take medicine when they are in depression and that's the only way to get them out of depression?
No, I'm asking does it really cure the depression?
Medication, definitely. Medication is definitely going to help you bring it all together. And depression is one thing that can be cured. It can also be cured with talk therapy, psychotherapy, and when psychotherapy and medication are given together to the patient, then the speed at which the person is recovering will also be slightly faster than just medication or just therapy. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, guys. I think most of your questions, all of your questions, have been answered. Uvi, you want to ask some questions to the kids, maybe, or to know them?
I'm so sorry. Your voice in the end
Okay.
starts cracking, so
I was just asking whether you want to ask some questions to the kids.
Yes, I don't want to ask anything. I just want to say all the best to all of y'all for all your exams that are coming. And you can feel free to connect with me on my page on all yours. And I just want to say all the best.
Thank you, Didi.
Any one person can come out of mute and share what did they learn about this career path today. You can raise your hands. Muskan.
Yes, sir, sure. So first of all, I'm really grateful to Urvi Didi for coming here and clarifying all our questions. From a long time, Didi, I used to have so many questions rising in my mind. So when I heard all the answers you're telling, it was just my mind was blowing with so many more questions. So I'm really grateful to you. Thank you for being here. I love the session.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad I could answer your questions.
Meher, you can come out of mute.
Didi, this is my first session where I attend in Wonder Girls. It is a nice session. It is really helpful for me. Like whatever you are saying, whatever the tips you give, it is really helpful for me. The session is very good, and the how calm you are talking with people and answering the question. It is looking like so good to hear you and so good to share anything we want to share with you. And yes, nice session. Thank you, sir, for making it mandatory to attend everyone. It is really helpful.
Okay.
I also want to thank Mahesh sir and Mansi for conducting this session and having me here.
Thank you, Uri. Thank you, Uri. Huda, do you want to come out of mute better?
Yes, so I just want to ask about how can we really deal with depression and when we are in situation that we are feeling just a lot of anger inside us and how can we really keep a little control on us and on that situation especially, and how can we be calm and approach to that situation?
I think when you have depression, you should visit a mental health professional. And secondly, don't self-diagnose yourself and say that I have depression or this person has depression. That is most important because you don't know what that is and what diagnosis that person actually has. So don't use strong words like that for yourself or for someone in your family or anyone close to you, because it may not be that at all. And secondly, cure to feel better when you have a lot of frustration inside, take out some time and do things that you like to do for yourself. If it is uh, singing loudly, not caring about any sur or anything, you should do that. If it's dancing on music, you should do that. If it's taking care of yourself, cutting your nails properly, painting them, you should do that. If it's just going for a walk, being with nature, and if that makes you feel better, you should do that. So basically just do what makes you happy and what brings your emotions in control. What I have seen is physical activity also helps a lot. So if you want to go down for a run, you can do that if that's going to help you. So yeah.
Okay, Didi, thank you so much. It answers my question.
Uh, okay, guys. So thank you so much, Uvi, for taking this session and clearing out all the doubts for the kids. I'm really happy I'm really happy that Mansi and you people are taking this initiative to help the kids and give exposure to them. Once again, I'm really glad that I signed up for Wonder Girls. Uh, okay, guys. You can come out of mute and you can give a loud thank you for the both Didis over here.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you,
Didi.
Thank you so much. It was nice talking to all of you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Urvi. Like, I can see everyone's just so happy. And I don't know if you check the comments, but like all of them have like sent stuff for you.
I really haven't. I'll look at that now.
Yeah, look at it now. Like literally everyone said something really nice. So I'm really happy that we had this, and I hope that the children really enjoyed it. So yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great moderator as always.